So today I'm making myself a new bag. This is Weaver's Select English Bridal, and they just started offering it in thinner weights with finished back. So they used to only offer it in like heavier weights, like 9, 10, 11 ounce. Now they offer it in 3, 4 ounce and 5, 6 ounce. So I got some of their black and some of, what is this one? This is the lighter tan color. And I need a new bag for myself. So I'm gonna make one out of, I'm gonna go two-tone. So let's talk about the design real quick before we start making it. So this is my current bag. I've been carrying it for like 5 or 6 years, and it's pretty simple design. It's just, it's actually laced. It's not sewn. So it's full leather, little coal bag handles, which I really like. And I use it mostly like a briefcase, throw my laptop in there, bring it to work every day, throw stuff in there. You know, you can take it, you can put a couple changes of clothes in it, even though it's fairly small. This is the design that I have for the new bag. I'm gonna kind of wing it a little bit. So this is last week's video. So it's gonna be kind of like a classic LL Bean style canvas tote, just made out of leather. And for some reason, I usually go super simple. I really want to do like a two-tone with black and darker brown leather. Never carried anything like that. So this is going to be roughly the design. And then I have my measurements here, which come from, this is the leather pattern for my old bag. And the thing that I want to change about it is, I like the height. It's 12 inches tall, 4-inch gusset at the bottom. I just want it a little bit wider so that I can actually fit a couple changes of clothes in here and take, because I have to take another bag if I go anywhere for more than 2 or 3 days. So if I make it 2 or 3 inches wider, and I'm going to add a shoulder strap as well, it'll just mean I can take 1 bag instead of 2 bags when I go other places, because I really do use this for everything, and I want to be able to use the other one for everything too. Okay, so we have our 2 panels cut out. This looks like a really weird shape for a bag. It would be, but remember we're going to add 3 inches, 2 or 3 inches to the bottom of this, and it's going to be dimensional, and there's going to be some overlap for the side seams, so we should be good. This is English bridal, and it's dyed, but it's not struck through. Now what that means is that when a hide is struck through, it's dyed all the way through the leather, usually in a drum. When you have a hide that's like this, it usually means that it's top coated with dye. There's kind of a myth floating around online, or there used to be at least, that there's this this is like raw leather. If you cut a hide and you see white in there, it's not, it's leather. It's just not struck all the way through because it was dyed in a different way. There are many ways to dye the leather. So we're gonna use Angelus black leather dye. I'm gonna burnish the edges, the top and the sides of these 2 panels, and then dye them. And so that, because we have this nice finished back, so that we just won't have the raw edge on the top of the bag. Alright, so now we're moving into the brown portion of our leather cutting. I have these copper D-rings. Weaver sells all their stuff in copper, which is really cool. And I'm going to use some copper rivets too, so we're going to go with the copper on this. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to do tubular handles attached to, so there's going to be the strap, D-ring, and the tubular handle on top, because if I have to replace anything, it's going to be the bottom, and this is in 10 or 15 or 20 years, the bottom, so I can take that off and replace it. The handles, I can take those off, replace them. Plus it'll just be easier than doing one big, huge strap here. So the first thing I need to do is cut straps for the sides, and then cut the pocket. And I think I'm going to do that on both sides, so that I have 2 exterior pockets, because I don't have any exterior pockets on my other bag, and I think I'd put them to good use. Alright, so we have all our pieces cut out. So this is the main body. This is kind of the way it's going to go together. And I might be repeating myself, but I'm more doing it for me, because I'm kind of trying to figure out how this whole thing's happening while I'm filming. So we're going to have the straps here, pocket here. This may look a little bit low, but you have to remember this is a 2-inch gap here. We're going to have 2 inches below this of this tan leather as well, which is going to be about here. So it'll all be nice and even with a square pocket in the middle. And then we're going to wrap these straps around with our D-rings. Will sit about like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the logo stamped in this and everything. We're going to do some skiving, and then we'll start sewing it all together. So we have to cut these to shape. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna fold this over and go all the way down like this. I'm only gonna go down to where this pocket is. So this is 2 inches. So then we'll have our loop here. This will fold over and go down 2 inches only. So this is a 1-inch strip of leather and a 3/4 inch D-ring. So I'm just gonna use my 1/2 inch strap-in punch, and I've drawn a center line and a little, like 3/8, well, 1/4 inch maybe, gap. Oop. And I'm gonna punch that on either side, and then I'm gonna thin out this part. And you'll see once we do that, actually I could probably roll this up and show you. This is going to create a little notch that our D-ring will just lock into like that. So we have a nice wide strap, but our D-ring has plenty of movement, and I'll go through and burnish everything and smooth this out and sand it down as well. All right, so things got a little crazy, but I think I got it figured out. So what I was going to do is thin out this entire section, but then I realized that when you fold this over, this butts up with the top of the pocket, which is also full thickness on the inside, but on the outside it's not. So what I did was, all I did was I skived down the outside seam so that it's kind of thin. Let me rotate this. When it's laying here, because this outside seam is gonna be all one thickness. So we're gonna go with that. Now, because I left this full thickness, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet mold this. This is thick leather, and it's always good to wet down when you're gonna bend it a full 180 degrees. You wanna just wet mold it, otherwise you can crack the leather. Thinner leathers, it's not that big of a deal, but with thicker leathers like this, it's a good idea. It is a little bit more difficult when you have a hot stuff leather like this, but you just leave it in there for a few minutes. It'll soak up the water, and you'll be able to bend it and wet mold it without cracking the leather. All right, so I ended up going 2 rivets top and bottom. They didn't fit side to side. I have them both popped in, and we're just gonna set them. And I'm going to set them upside down because we have sort of made this, well, not sort of, the leather's wet, so any marks I want to show up on the back that's going to be hidden. Because the leather's wet, it'll mark a little bit easier from the press. So you see we have little marks there, nothing really there, and we'll just do that on all 4 of them. Okay, so this is going to be the end of part 1 of this, and I know we got a lot done, but like we didn't, but we did. Sorry, this is just as far as we got for this video. But so what we have is we have our 2 attachment straps, we have our pocket, and of course we have this for both sides. We have where we skive down the one side here, so this is going to lock in right on the corner of that pocket, so that you have the full thickness throughout on both sides, and then on the other side it bends down nicely, and these will be fully stitched. Then you have your pocket, and then, you know, the little tab that I made. And then remember, there's going to be a whole bottom section that's 2.5 inches deep too, that's going to be this brown color. So we're going to let all the wet molding dry. I had hoped to get everything glued in for this video, but we're kind of on a time crunch. I was sick the rest of the week, so we had to film this in a short amount of time. But next week, we're going to get, hopefully, almost fully complete with this. It might be 3 parts, but we're going to get it all glued in. We're going to get a lot of it stitched up, and we'll get the bottom on, hopefully. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.